You ready to start?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, cool. So, you are a 244 Dark Knight? Or close to that
Yeah.
still?
Yes, I am a 244 Dark Knight, around 50% to 245.
Nice, nice. So how are you liking the... I guess first of all, how are you liking the changes from the last patch?
Honestly,
Uh-oh.
okay, the darkness aura is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Damage boost and it looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The damage reduction for the Spear of Darkness, I don't really notice it that much, but maybe that's just me. Like that's a gameplay like error or something that I'm doing. But
It's a very narrow
I did
window,
see
right?
Yeah. I did see a video on someone doing it and like surviving the Lotus lasers, and I think that maybe now I'll be able to use it more effectively, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it comes down to timing and ping, which your ping might be a little bit higher.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's probably the ping then.
Yeah, because like with like Demonic Blast for Demon Avenger, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like during the animation, you get reduced incoming damage, including from percentages. It's very hard to really time that properly and to rely on that. The way I found to rely on it, but I don't think you could do that on Dark Knight, is by popping it or using it as an animation cancel another skill, and then using a dash right after, and then kind of like dragging the immunity along with you through your dash, and then that way it works more reliably. But I don't think you could do that with Spear, right?
It's like the video I saw. It's kind of doable because Dark Knights have the rush skill, right? Or
yeah.
I guess Warriors have the rush skill. So I guess you can just Spear of Darkness and Wrath right afterwards. But I think that's like the furthest extent of like what you can do with Spear of Darkness, unless you're like just like straight out just face tanking something, and maybe that's more viable. But yeah,
it would also be what the fuck. It would also be just kind of like a Hail Mary, right? To see like, well, if I'm gonna die now, might as well try to see if it works, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah, but they also increased the damage a bit on the spear, right?
Oh yeah, they did do that as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I don't exactly remember what they changed, to be honest. But
no, I don't remember.
I did know they definitely did change things.
Yeah. Yeah, let's keep it at that. Well, it was mainly the activation for the...
Oh, right, yeah, that as well.
For the thing, right? Yeah, that you can choose to activate or not, the invincible thing.
Yeah. That is very big, actually. Because it helps, like, trying to, like, stabilize phases better for, like, different kind of bosses, and then, like, if I somehow die to Lotus phase 1, I don't have to, you know, like, use it when it's like a pretty important part of the kit to like just surviving and being able to do like a lot of damage as well. So that helps as well. Yeah,
you can like the fact you can choose when it activates is quite nice, because sometimes you just don't want it to go off then.
Yeah.
Does that mean, wait, if you don't choose to not activate it, does it mean you die?
I die, and then I get the choice of using a buff freezer.
Oh yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah, so it's just a regular death. I'm pretty sure.
you literally get to choose life or death.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
so
sometimes you just want to die.
Yeah, sometimes death is a preferable option. Yeah, in a video game. So yeah, what kind of stuff are you doing on like a day-to-day, on a week-to-week, and what are you trying to get to? What are you trying to reach?
So I'll start with my goals first. I definitely want to try and do hard bosses and Limina bosses. Is that how you would call them?
Right,
like Dark Mill and
Tenebris bosses, yeah.
Oh, Tenebris bosses, right? Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to get up to there. Maybe get up to Black Mage, but I still don't know yet how far I'll get into this game.
You might want that at this point, but then as you get closer to that, you might realize that it might be a bit more than you bargained for. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, definitely up to there, and I want to clear hard Lubu as well.
Yep.
And hard Damien, hard Lotus, and stuff like that. Yeah. Definitely on my checklist of things to do.
And how far to that point have you gotten? You've done everything below that, basically?
Yeah, but I haven't... my party tried to run Will, but we failed. But I think it was mainly because of the mechanics.
That's normal,
and not the damage. Yeah. And it was our first run as well.
Yeah.
As a party, so...
Yeah, I think every party needs at least like 3 runs before most people get it down. Like the third and fourth run is where people start like really getting the hang of it. Usually, it's fine to completely fuck up for like the first 2 runs. That's pretty normal.
Yeah. The thing is, we got up to phase 3, and I think only one person had died. But then after that, everyone it was just a clusterfuck, and we didn't know where to go. We got it. I think we got him up to like 40%, and then we died out.
So was it like was everyone cleansing webs, or was the screen like filling up with spider webs?
I think it was mainly just like dying to his like the yellow and white eyes.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, it's probably a mix of everything, actually.
Yeah, so using the moonlight... So what's probably happening, I'm guessing, is people getting knocked back, pushed into the corners not being cleansed, then getting sealed, and then having a move and nobody can move, and then you all just die.
Yeah,
that probably happens. That's the most common thing to... So the one thing is that if you can, you want to like hop around him in the middle, right? Kind of treat him like the Golux face. Like the Golux chin, so you just always on the other side, with it being a bit more forgiving than the Golux chin, where he still has a small hitbox behind him, not so much for Will. The important thing is, of course, to synchronize your bind and your burst and that kind of stuff. And for the white and yellow eyes, I hear that a lot. If you guys can do that, that's fine. What I propose instead is just to call stay or move, and then move meaning use a move skill, and stay meaning don't use a move skill.
Yeah.
And based on the positioning of the spider, not so much if you can see the eyes or not, because a lot of times it's just covered in damage, right? And it's hard to see which eyes they are. So if the spider's like lunging back, call stay, and if he's like going way up high and is like touching the ceiling of the map almost, then call move. And I find that to be a more consistent way of letting everyone know what to do. And also usually they alternate. So if you saw what the last one was, sometimes call out like next one is probably going to be move, next one is probably going to be stay, so people are already like in another state of like prepared, because when the chaos sets in, you can lose track of like what was the last one, and that way you can have a more reliable response the next time it goes around. I also don't know if you have a lot of mages, like for teleport it's quite tricky to time it properly, and then when people start dying, and then people, you know, the chaos sets in, and then you have less cleansing, and then every push to the corner is a seal, and then But I mean, if you guys got to phase 3 with only one person had died out at that point.
I think I remember only one person dying out.
Well, I'm guessing the other people weren't at like 10 lives at that point. Everyone else was probably like lowish as well, then, right? Like at 3 or 4. Yeah. Yeah,
I think around 3, 4-ish, and then me and someone else were on like 7 and like 8 around there. Yeah, then you should be fine. It was, yeah. It's
probably mainly just because phase 2 probably took a bit too long, and then people who were okay at test 2 then started dying because of the heal restriction. Yeah, I don't know. So if you guys, I don't know what stage you guys are in for healing familiars. So like adjusting that can make a significant difference for survivability, especially if you know that damage-wise you're already there. Realizing that you can heal again like normal in phase 3, that can also be a significant difference. So because some people are so locked into that phase 2 needing to use moonlight and everything that they sometimes forget that you can just heal like normal again. Well, with a cooldown, of course, but like you can heal again with the regular potions. And then the main thing is just like, if there was a move and you're jumping around, then just jump through to the corner, use moonlight, clean the webs, and then come back to the middle. Try to stand exactly in the middle so you don't get pushed all the way into the webs as long as people cleanse. Or jump around Will if you can, to make sure you stay out of that push range. Because that's usually what gets you, yeah. Getting pushed, and then there's a web, and then the next one is move, and you're fucked. And that'll happen a few times, but yeah, as you get better at phase 1 and 2, you'll always get into phase 3 with like 8 lives or more, and then, you know, a few of those mistakes is fine, and it's not fatal. But yeah, if you guys got that far in one run, then you'll be fine, and like, next run will be maybe a little bit wonky, but maybe you'll kill it with like 2 or 3 people alive, and then the third one will probably be quite a big success, I think, if you keep the line going.
Yeah, I think I don't actually remember. It was like maybe 2 weeks ago or something. So I don't. My memory isn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but I think it was personally I struggle the most with phase 1 because I don't even know like what's going on. Phase 2, I kind of know what's going on. Like I get the mirror. Like the cracked mirror and the standard version of the like test.
Yeah.
But I think phase 1 is the most confusing to me.
For the switching and for the dimensions, or? Well, so you have to know the timers, right? When the test is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have that down? Or
yeah, I think we did. Mm-hmm. But like I just get confused for some reason.
Well, so you want to have people in yeah, so you want to have. Well, you want to get both HP bars down equally, right? And then you want to have people in both dimensions so that you can call out where the spider shows up, and then everyone switches to that one, because the people that are not in that will get like a screen crack effect, and then if you don't have any kind of it'll take 100% HP hit. So with iframes and stuff, you can immune it, but you'd rather switch over to the other dimension and not like risk it. Technically, if you have like a shell or a kind of barrier, or if you time your spear correctly and you have 100% HP, then you could survive that as well. But of course it's very tricky because you don't know exactly when it's going to go off, because there could be a little bit of a delay. So as soon as someone sees it, it's better to just switch over to the dimension where they see the spider, and then you're going to be safe there. And then you get to that stage, you know, if everyone survives to that stage with like the thing in the middle, and then you have to hit it just enough to create those balls to fall. And then you have to loot one of those yellow ones to create a protective shell, and that'll create that shell will save everyone in both of the dimensions at that point from the next screen crack that's going to happen at the end of the test again. So as soon as you see that someone has a shell, or as soon as you hear someone yell like, "Oh, I've got a yellow ball, like I'm going to loot it," make sure you stop attacking, because otherwise, if you're doing any damage, you create a ball on the other side, and then that could be one of those black balls that people have to dodge, otherwise they might die. And then after the second crack, you always get moved into the blue dimension, which means that if you were in purple, you make sure you definitely don't hit it, because if you make balls fall in the blue dimension, and then after the test you switch into it, you could like switch right into the balls like instantly without even being able to see them, and then people could instantly die, and then you fail the test there.
Yeah,
so that's important.
I think it's that part particularly where I get confused, like the dodging and like the like weird barrier thing. But I'll probably just end up watching try watching more videos to try and get an understanding of what to do.
Yeah, and like right after you switch to the dimension where the spider is, make sure you also stay like at 100% HP, because when you go into the little test thing, right, with the thing in the middle, there's also a chance that you get switched again to another dimension, and that you get switched into a tornado that a will throws out right before the test. That's still possible, and that kills people sometimes, and then the test is also already over before it even gets to start, basically. So you know, that's like an extra difficulty. That's something that in the beginning you don't really consider, but that'll happen sometimes. It's common enough to I misspelled my title. It's common enough to happen that you have to calculate for that, basically.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely try and get more research in, watching more videos.
Yeah, I'm running later today, but you're probably gonna be sleeping.
I'll watch the VOD. I'll become a VOD frog.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, every Saturday you can watch last week's, this week's, But also depending on how strong you're. And I talked about this in a session a little bit ago as well. I think we actually went through a run. also depends on how strong your party is, whether how you're going to do the splits, and when you're going to domain and everything with the Kana. So that might be something you have to fine tune as well in the beginning. But I guess since since you got that far, you're probably strong enough to just do 1-1-1. I assume on normal, but then when you get to hard, you'll have to have like a little bit more of a game plan, because obviously it has way more HP.
Yeah, I think hard's a decent time away. Because we've been running normal lucid for like a couple weeks now, three or 4 weeks.
That's pretty fast now.
But I only recently joined the party because the person who was running the party previously, I think he's taking a break, or he like quit or something. So he asked me to fill for him, and yeah, I just joined the party then. But I think my party has been running before me for maybe like a month or 2 already.
What levels is everyone at?
I think everyone is over 245, but under 251, around that level range. Yeah. Yeah, usually by the time you get around to like really getting down normal will, you usually also get to the point where you can do hard lucid. It's like those attempts can start going in. So that usually goes together, mainly because, you know, for will you need way more arcane power and you need the higher levels, right? So you're going to be gaining a lot of final damage once your arcane power goes up more and once your level increases more. Yeah. Oh, also, I had a question about running a hard Damien, because I saw in the progression milestone that I think hard Damien was under late game as a party, and then doing that. So how what's the difficulty of hard Damien compared to like will and stuff?
It's way easier, but he has way more HP, so it's like it's not as complex, right? Because hard Damien is basically just normal Damien with more HP. It's exactly the same. There's nothing else. For Lotus, it's a bit different, right? Because there's way more stuff falling, way faster attacks and everything, and that makes and then also way more HP. But the boss is typically there more. Damien disappears a lot, goes in the air a lot, becomes untargetable. You have the blue balls in phase 2, which make bursting him down a lot harder. For soloing specifically makes it way harder because the blue balls are always on you. For partying can be a bit different because someone can be like the ball hog and try to get them all to one side so that the other people can burst. And you can kind of like jump around it. And you can still commit a decent chunk of damage. So for Damien, it's mostly just like hey, do you guys just want to try and see how far we get? Just do a practice mode and kind of see how far it goes. And then see from there to be like, okay, that was actually pretty good. Like, let's say that you guys do normal lucid, and you guys can do normal will as well, and you still have some time left in your maybe you have some time left in your guild skills, and you're like, oh, let's go try and see how far we get.
Yes, my guild skills.
Oh yeah, maybe guild skills is a bad example, but your half-hour buffs. Okay, let's leave it at that.
My 2-minute crit damage bonus guild skill.
Oh shit, okay. I didn't know it was quite that bad. Well, maybe with the guild skill changes that will help you out.
Oh right.
You only have level 1? You just solo the guild?
My guild is pretty much dead.
DED dead? Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the main and like core members quit or left. Yeah, basically quit.
Yeah. Or break, quote unquote.
Yeah, on break, yeah. And one of the people who you had like last week, I think, Rip Andy QQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was part of the guild. Yeah. And,
so he also jumped ship.
Yeah.
So what are you looking for, another guild, or are you okay with this? Because I mean, guild skills are a huge power spike that will help you a lot. I know. Especially for training higher level areas, you can alternate and keep uptime.
I definitely plan on leaving this guild eventually, but I got to make sure to add everyone I knew. But, yeah.
Keep the homies close.
One of the people in this guild right now, they were planning on joining Savages, and I was, I might as well just jump on the bandwagon. But I think Savages Legion requirement is like 6k, and I'm not even half of that yet. So it's a long.
Got a
it's
Legion
a long way
requirement. Away. Wow. Okay. They need to know you mean serious business. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't even think of doing that. Legion requirement. Never heard that one before. I heard that I think there were some guilds where you had to do like a video interview and stuff, and you had to like record yourself.
Oh my god,
like,
what?
Your motivations and why you wanted to join or something.
Holy crap.
I thought that was pretty based. I was like, oh shit, we should do that.
That is.
And then you have like a second round of interviews and stuff. No, I was gonna say, I know Phases, I know is mainly Australian guild, time zone wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Oceania probably. Around. Yeah. Well, you'd see them more, right, if you're around your playtime, yeah. So, I mean, because I don't know if Savage has a requirement that you can't meet, and, maybe non-overlapping, or it's hard to find parties, like, within the guild as well. I mean, you already have your party, of course, so that's not as much a problem, but, I mean, every time you log in and there's nobody there, but when the guild PQ changes come, everyone can do guild PQ at their own time anyway, so maybe that's not as big of a deal. But yeah, I mean, scout your options, I guess. It's also not if you pick a guild that you're in there forever.
Yeah.
And like you said, you still have your friends on buddy list anyway, so if it doesn't work out, then not like you're gonna lose contact, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm still in the Discord anyway, so
yeah.
I think it's all good. It's all good.
But yeah, if you can rely on guild skills more, you'll see like a big spike. I guess the other part is the arcane symbols, right? But if you're leveling pretty quickly, then arcane symbols have a hard time catching up or keeping up with something. Like for Will, it's a pretty steep requirement.
Oh, it's like 1100, right?
Yeah, 1140 if you want to do the bonus damage, yeah.
Oh my lord. Well, I'm actually...
Well, you've got some symbols that can level. You're not too far.
Oh yeah, my money's kind of... I've been dumping money into
money's tight, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a symbol of money's tight. Like your screenshot has enhanceable symbols, and you're not doing it. So that means.
But the change was I bless the changes how you can just overlap symbols now into. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Otherwise, your inventory just fills up in one day. You just. You have to keep all the you keep all the coins as coins, but everything else is to like go right in there.
Yep, I'm just hoarding coins right now.
Yeah, so that way you're doing the spirit ones as well. Okay, I saw you were hoarding the Dream Defender ones. Oh, okay. Yeah, so once you
Spirit Savior, Dream Defender, yep.
Yeah, so once you come into money, you can immediately get like 6-7 levels.
Yeah, for my daily routine, I basically just do all the standard bosses for miso, so like normal mag, and then I'm capping for the troop coins as well, and doing all my dailies, so like symbols and stuff for symbols. Yeah, which gives me capping gives me a decent amount of XP, like 10% XP every day. So
yeah,
it's pretty,
in live good. That should get increased even more, right? All of the bonus experience per area where you do your symbol dailies should be a decent amount. Yeah, that's once per account, but at least while you're still capping on a character, that'll help you gain maintain that forward momentum. Just for doing dailies, you'll still see more significant progress. That and redoing the EXP for the monster park and everything. If you add up just the symbol dailies and the monster park, it's actually a significant amount of experience every single day without having to actually go grind. That's hopefully with live they roll all of that out, so that should be interesting. Like the Lakaline monster park should be a big chunk.
All right, yeah, that as well. I gotta go back into Monster Park. I've been neglecting it for too long.
Oh yeah.
For the longest time, I didn't even know that you had to accept the quest to get the medal. So I've just been doing it, and then at a point I realized, hey, what's this quest?
What's this light bulb here? Yeah. Oh, clear map. Oh, haven't I been doing that for a while? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had to do it all again. So
start over. Yep. Nice.
yeah, I think Sunday's my closest day because of the XP coupons. But yeah, other than that, everything's kind of
It's a good thing to do because it's always worth your money. Time wise, it might not be worth your time all the time to do like the hardest one. You could just do Stronghold, which is really fast, and just get all your runs done in less than a minute each. If you're just trying to rush out the clears. But Mezzo wise, for like the extra coupons for the extra runs, it's always worth it because of the progress towards the 7-day medal, of course, but also because of all the Monster Park potions that you can buy, and you can use those to help your Legion grow a lot faster as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a big reason why.
Mm-hmm. You can never really go wrong there. Like at my stage, you probably don't need to do it as much anymore, but because of how many potions I've accumulated. But if you have a huge pile, you'll also be more like, oh fuck it, let's just use some and go to town.
Yeah, I saw your post on Reddit how you got your 7th character already for your Monster Park.
My 13th actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My 13th 7-day one, yeah.
Oh, it was 13th 7-day.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's quite a few runs.
Yeah, just only a few.
Yeah, just I think my storage has like 6,000 plus gold potions at this point, just sitting in there.
Oh my god.
Opening the boxes. I'll never get through all of those, especially because I don't really train or grind that much. So.
Fair enough. Hey, if you ever need to donate them to someone,
Yeah, exactly. There's quite a few things. Like I think my DA has like 7 pap marks on it. Like I'd gladly donate those, but like there's no way to get rid of them. So.
If only.
Yeah. Of course, I would get 8 of them on a character that doesn't really even need them. Like transposing is the most useless on that character than anyone because of the HP flame. So, and then that's the guy who gets the most. Of course, it's a typical Nexon moment there. Oh well.
They know.
Yeah, they exactly. And then the potentials you get is like the best one for all the other stats. It's always like that. Okay, and then you have a bunch of pictures here. So the first one is completely unbuffed, and then the second one is buffed.
Just all the buffs that would be like up most of the time.
And what's the third one? Because it's like in between the two.
Oh wait, what is that? Maybe I forgot to delete something.
Or maybe the third one is to replace the first one?
Oh, wait.
Oh, it's Maple Warrior with decent combat orders, maybe? Because it's only like 900 stat difference and everything else seems the same.
I think I'm an idiot. I think one was supposed to be with my boss damage familiar. But I guess you could just add that on anyway.
Yeah, but all 3 are 181% boss damage.
Yeah,
I think the only difference with the last one is that you have a bit more strength, right? You see you have like 900 more. That might be like decent combat orders on the Maple Warrior or something for like the extra 1%. Is that 900? That might be a bit high.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll focus on the bottom 2 then. I mean, yeah, there's not a huge difference with the other ones. Or maybe maybe a link skill you added or something. I don't know. Or your Legion, or maybe your Legion was set to the different stat because you run a mule or something. Is that possible?
It could have been. Wait. Why is my final damage different? What the?
On that one, I think that's the final pack. Does that get final damage? That's your buffed one, right?
Yeah.
So that's with what's it called? Cross Surge?
Yeah. It's with Cross Surge, but
yeah.
But then why do I have the same stat? It's so weird. Huh.
Yeah, I think it might be combat orders, and then you Maple Warrior after combat orders, and then Maple Warrior gets bigger, right?
Yeah, that's.
And then it's like, oh wait, and then you took another screenshot Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I fucked up somewhere.
It's okay. I mean, it's within parameters. It's not like oh my god, this is like 80 million more range or something. We have to figure out how this incredible chasm of data has erupted. No, I mean it's within the same sets. Okay, so you already mentioned like the progression grid and stuff before. Like which resources have you used, and do you have any questions on any of them to like need anything clarified, or do they all kind of make sense?
I think most of them make sense to me. I sometimes get confused with the flames, but I think that's.
I think it's a you problem, or
yeah.
I mean, is there anything I can do?
It's a main problem.
But is there anything I can do to help that? Like, what part are you getting confused on? Like, where the numbers come from, or what they're supposed to say, or what you're supposed to aim for?
I think it's a mix of what I'm trying to aim for, plus what like the range of the tiers are. So, like a tier 6, how do I differentiate a tier 6 from a tier 5, and etc. etc.
Yeah. So when it comes to weapons, that's important, right? That's why I have the specific in the calculator. That's why you have the little part for the weapon on the side, right? So you can put the stats in there, and then you can clearly see if it's a tier 5 or a tier 6 for the weapon. The reason that I don't really mess around with that at all when it comes to the item flame calculator itself is because that complexity of like, okay, is it tier 3 of this and a tier 6 of that, or a tier 4 and a tier 5 and is it tier 7? Because that's so confusing, we just redirect it to the flame score to kind of get rid of all of needing to know that information. So once you're like really, really endgame, you're like, okay, I really want to know what is the potential of this item, like how good can this possibly be? Then you can, get down into the numbers and go look it up. But before then, I think it's better to just be able to tell like what is the flame score of the item, and then compare it to the progression grid, like what kind of flame score am I aiming for, and to see like, are you within the ballpark or do you need to work harder? And kind of take it out. If you really want to know, on the flame video, there is a link. There's a bunch of links in the description, and one of them is here, all possible flame outcomes. The fourth one here.
Beautiful.
And there you could scroll down, and here it has like for every single tier on every single level range what the number is. If you want to go puzzle basically. And then you can see like, oh, strength and dex together at level 160. At the tier 6 is 30 of each. And then the flame ones for the weapons are also here. That's where all the numbers come from, right? That's where all the percentages come from. The 71.7409%, beautiful numbers. And it has the flat numbers as well. But yeah, we've consolidated all of those into the calculator to make it easier to see in one look. Like, bam, that's what Yeah,
Genesis weapon. When calculating flame score, right?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to take into account the dex flame as well? Because I'm not really sure if I should. Because I think generally when I do it, I only take into account the strength and whatever else is relevant, so like all stat or weapon attack or
completions, for holistic sake, technically yes. But like, let's say that if you're using the cost calculator one, right, to see how much money you're going to spend on average, once you get really, really high, just adding like 2 more flame score can be very, very expensive. But if you're trying to determine like, do I want to get 2 more flame score, but your item at the same time has 36 dex, which is like worth more than 3 flame score, it would be, at that point, it would be bad to ignore that part, because that is adding that damage, and you actually already have more than what you're going to be spending money on to get. So for completion's sake, I would throw it in there. But yeah, basically yes. Like, so if you have something has like 80 strength and 50 dex, and something else has 82 strength, then the one with 50 dex is better. Like, that's going to give you more damage, even if it has less strength.
Oh, okay.
Because dex does do something. And that's why when you see the flame score calculator, right, you can pick like for late game or end game, and then you can pick like what class you are. And because this is also determining the value of your secondary stats. Like, if you press int, then only int and luck shows up, right? Luck, then dex, luck, shows up. But if you're one of these, then strength, lux, and dex show up, and then all stat value goes up because you have 2 secondary stats. So it does It will affect your flame score, yeah.
Okay.
But usually it's just like number divided by 10, so that's pretty simple. That's usually only going to be like 1, 2, or 3, 4 in like extreme cases. So it is a small amount of extra, but yeah, it does add up.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Anything else for flames, I guess, that I can elucidate?
Oh, right. Actually,
Maybe a specific item or...
Yeah, I think I just get confused. Like what item should be at what flame? So like, you know, CRA, what flame should my top be at, or you know, my weapon, what flame should that be at? But I think with the progression milestone table, I think I should be all right.
Yeah, I think so too. But you have to like, yeah, get down and look at it, right? So find your level range up top. And then you can see what is like advisable around that point, and you can also see what is advisable towards the end of the range. So if you're anywhere from the beginning to the end of the range, you're like in the ballpark of where you want to be. And if you're closer to the end one already, then you know you're good for a while, and you can lower it on the priority list. And this is taking into account basically doing all the maths with all of the numbers and seeing all the high tiers, and basically taking like a percentage of the maximum possible outcome and translating that to how expensive is it to get that, and how realistic is it to spend that much money on just this one way of upgrading versus spending it on star forcing versus spending it on potential. And it's trying to find the balance, like a somewhat optimal balance between distributing your funds between all of the modes of upgrading versus how much damage does it really give you at the end of the day once you upgrade your item to that part. So when it comes to the weapon flame, right, that's when we go by the tiers. Because what you saw here, right, if you go by the weapons and stuff, like, they all have different base numbers, right? So all the tiers are all different numbers. So I can't put that in one grid. That would be huge clusterfuck. So instead, you know, I go by these percentages, and then I just say, like, that's the tier that you're looking for. And that's why the calculator has, you know, if you put the base level of your item and the... so what is yours? Yours is 190 something. Oh, 205, yeah. So you put the 205 in. Then you can see, I think that's the one you have, right? 82? Yeah, so you can see you have tier 6. And you have 10% boss damage. That's a tier 5. Because boss damage is 2% per level. So you have a tier 6 attack and a tier 5 boss. So that's very cleanly tier 6 plus. So that would be, I think, good enough to keep like all the way until there. But probably before this time, you're going to switch into an arcane weapon, right? So then you want to get a similar... You want to get a similar tier flame, which will mean that, you know, when it comes to the weapon, I don't know how much weapon attack the spear has. Do you know, perchance?
No.
Spear? That should be pretty easy to find. Sure.
Oh, wait. I have the weapon, actually.
295.
295, yeah.
You have the fake one from the compensation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have the fake one.
Yeah, so there are tier 6. So there you would also go for tier 6, but a tier 6 there is 142 versus the 82, right? So that's 60 extra weapon attack plus the 90 extra base. So that's 150 extra attack without including the extra from the star forcing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and your star forcing gives you 90, so a clean but tier 6 flame spear would be already 60 attack higher than this one without star forcing it at all. And that's why, you know, arcane weapons, massive upgrade.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't really understand the gap between arcane and Abso weapon until now.
Yeah, if you look at the base being so much higher, there's such a huge number on the flames. Plus the star forcing is also more than the Absolab one because you're getting bonus stats on a higher level item, and all of that put together. But I think it's gotta be like 500 or maybe like around 500 attack probably, just like at 17 with like a decent flame.
Yeah, at base, like the fake one that I have right now, I was back then when I got it, I was so like oblivious to the in-game mechanics. So I got 96 strength, and I was like, okay, this is a settle.
That's a lot. Yeah, if it was anything but a weapon, then that would probably be a settle. Yeah, right. Because if you go back, right, we look for the flame score for advantaged items. Yeah, then you're looking at for like the beginning of the late stage, you're looking for like 95-ish. So if you hit 96 on any of the other Abzo pieces, then that's what you're looking for, right? So I think to go back to your point where you're talking about like CRA and stuff. So here there's a range, and that's because the level difference between the items, even the ones with a flame advantage, makes those numbers go back. So that goes back here. So if you look at the strength, so like for example, the biggest difference is between, for example, a pink holy cup, which has flame advantage, right, and arcane stuff. So both would fall under the category of flame advantage, but I'm not going to put like flame score you want to go for on a level 140, on a 150, on a 160, right? I'm not going to divide that all out, because then you have 16 rows of of numbers, and then it gets too complicated again. But if you look here, for example, like the strength you're looking for, right, and 140 to 159, so that's what the cup falls under. You look for a 48 on a tier 6, but then for 200, that's 66, right? That's a significant difference with the same quality of flame, the same cost to get that. So when it comes to the flame score that you're looking for, I'm not going to put this number, because then you're lowballing this one, and I'm not going to put this number because then you have to way overspend on this one. So that's why I put the range there. So you can look for the pink holy cup, you look for the lowest end. For the CRA, you look a little bit higher. Abzo, a little bit higher than that. And then the highest number is meant for arcane, because that's the highest number equips that we have.
Right, okay.
And are you clear on the difference between like flame advantage and no flame advantage?
Yeah, I think I can, like, just by looking at most items, tell whether or not it's flame advantaged or
yeah. So what do you use as indicators for that? If you see it, like if you look at your top, what helps you see that it's flame advantage?
I think wasn't it like 4 or more flame stats or something? I think I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, it's something like that. So you have 4 lines of stats that you get, but if you look at your top, for example, you have 5 numbers, right? So how do you have 5?
I don't know. I think I just keep like a mental note in my head on items that are like flame advantage and flame disadvantage. So most of the boss, like boss gear, I think is flame advantage, and like things like Sweetwater monocle and like all the Sweetwater accessories and stuff, and like just things dropped by like regular mobs, flame disadvantage.
Yeah, that's generally how it goes. Yeah. So the thing with the tops and with the top, for example, is because you have lines. What you have on the top, it looks like a tier. Looks like a tier 6 strength, a tier 6 dex, and then a tier 6 int plus luck, and then a tier 5 MP, I think. Right? Because you have lines here that are multiple stats, right? That are combinations. You have strength and dex, right? And then if you look at the tier 6 here is 24 of each. So that's why you can have more than 5 visible lines, or less, more than 4, sorry, or less than 4. But it doesn't mean that you have a different amount of lines. So if you, maybe it's a good idea to like rewatch the flame video, but because that goes into it, and it basically just shows you this part here, and explains what this means, right? Because this is basically the crux of the whole thing. Is this grid right here? Is like how many lines of stat are you getting, and what are the quality of the lines? So once you know that, then you can kind of let this go, and then you don't have to worry anymore about like, is this a tier 5, is that a tier 6, is this a tier 4, right? Because then you can just redirect to the flame score, and then as long as you know, like in the beginning, 100% sure, does it have advantage or not, then you can know like, do I look in this row or do I look in this row? And that's basically it. But yeah, like you said, all the Sweetwater stuff, all the superior stuff, that's not advantage. All of the boss sets like CRA, Abzo, Arcane, those are all flame advantaged. And then boss accessory set, that's why we used to call it boss flames, because that kind of made sense and that was intuitive. But there were some items that were part of the boss accessory set and that dropped from bosses that didn't have boss flames, so was kind of unintuitive there, so we just changed it to flame advantage, because that's basically what you're trying to say. Like, does it have an advantage when you flame it? Like, that's what we're trying to get to. So that's the term that we started using, and I think it's more, overarching of what we're trying to say without causing any confusion. Yeah. So, so with that, if you look at like the difference in the flame score, if you calculate between like your pants, for example, and between your top, you'll see a huge gap, right? Because the pants is pretty much double what the top is. So if you compare them then to the grid, to like what number you're aiming for, you see that the pants are really close, or maybe even a little bit higher than the number that you're looking for, and that the top is quite a lot lower. And basically, if you do this for all your items, you'll see which item has the biggest gap between current flame score and the flame score that the progression grid says, like, this is roughly where you want to be. And then the numbers that have the biggest difference there, those are the ones that you want to prioritize flaming. So don't look at like a percentage, but look at the real number there. Because, for example, if you have an item with non-flame advantage that has like, a really shitty flame, like says it just has like 6 strength or something and that's it, it could go to 25, but it'll still be easier for something that has 40 to go to 60 than something that has 6 to go to 25, because of the extra variance on the lines, right? Because things that don't have flame advantage get anywhere from 1 to 4 lines, and you're going to get a lot of 1, 2, or 3 just junky lines. You're going to get defense and jump and lower level to equip and that kind of stuff that just doesn't do anything for you.
The cursed lines.
Yeah, exactly. The ones that are just in there to cost you money. So does that clear up flaming enough for you?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's see if there's any other stuff currently. How are you doing with familiars? Because that's typically one that is a bit confusing as well. It's a little...
I know that familiar farming gets a lot easier in Moonbridge.
Yeah, you're 1 level away. You're really close there.
Yeah, but before I started training at Celis and getting like actually pretty decent rates, I was in MTS, and
I can see that by the spiders.
I just ended up getting a bunch of spiders, so I was just like, oh, I might as well just get 1 to unique. Like they recently added in the Asphera familiar jobs, right? So I was just like, oh, I kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll farm and I'll get familiars, and voila. My first unique was 35 boss.
That's nice. It's more than I have, and I've opened a bunch of familiars. So that's nice. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but now that I'm training in Celis,
no familiars there, right?
Yeah, I'm obviously sacrificing familiars, but the rates are so much better. And
just one more level, and then you'll be at Moonbridge, and I have the best of both worlds. You have the crazy rates, and you have the familiars, so...
Yeah, so...
Yeah. And you know what you're looking for? On familiars?
Familiar-wise?
Yep.
Kind of?
Okay.
I want a drop, definitely. So increase drop by a large amount. Honestly, that's my extent of what I want. But is there anything that you recommend?
Well, I mean, if you get more large boss or large IED, those could be useful.
Oh, right.
And any continuous healing for a large amount, that would also be really nice.
Okay.
Because it does make a significant difference. Because then if you're doing will, and as an attacker, you have like 1 large healer and then a boss and an IED if you need it, or like 2 boss and a large healer, or just 1 boss and 2 healers, something like that. And then the more supports go like full healing, or maybe 1 IED if they need it, something like that. Then you can kind of divide who does, that everyone does a little bit, and then there's going to be plenty of healing during the boss fight, and no one gets into any trouble. And then for bosses that are really difficult, like if you're doing Tenebris right in the beginning, hopefully you don't need any IED anymore by that point from the familiars, and then you can just go full healing just to optimize, and for link skills, you just go full utility. You have your warrior link skill, and then you put like close call in there, and the Cygnus link, and the resistance link, and just put everything in there to get as much survivability as possible. You're a Dark Knight, so you can probably just, if everyone's strong enough, you could just Final Pact and just sit through the whole thing. It's a little bit unfair, but yeah. If you ever get to a party that's strong enough for that, you could just sit there and just, just dark impale your way to, or what is it? What's the other skill?
Gungni's Descent.
Yeah, Gungni's Descent. Your way through fucking everything up, and you're just, come on, guys, just dodge the mechanics. Come on, boys. You're just AFK.
Yeah, I do that a lot whenever I die. So like sometimes I just like randomly die in normal Lucid, where there'd be like just a stupid mistake or something, right? And then the dragon would come up, and then I'd just be sitting in this dragon's flame and just going this descending Lucid. I'm just like trying to fly around, and everyone's just at the top.
Everyone's at full panic mode, and you're just, this is fine. Just tanking it.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, like how long is your buff duration at this point? Like if you do pop it, like how long does it last?
I just mega burned my a mechanic.
Yeah.
So that would definitely help a bit. I haven't tested it fully yet. I mean, I could test it now.
Yeah. And then the other thing, because you also have a meso drop rate, I saw. You're familiar with the stacking and everything, how it works, and the percentages you're looking for to get your bags to drop?
Kind of, not really.
Oh yeah, okay. So I have an exclamation mark drop rate, and that one kind of just explains everything on when you get a familiar, like the name, what percentage of drop does that really represent? And then also how does the drop work? How can you stack it? And what percentage are you looking for to get your bags to drop? And then what kind of situations when you're mobbing or bossing would you want to work towards to like optimize your total drop rate when you're fighting, basically. So that's all explained under that one.
Yeah.
Just make sure you reread that if you're not feeling 100%. If you're not 100% confident, then just check that one.
Okay, sweet. Wait, this is a question that I've had for a very long time, and I was wondering, do you start off with 100% drop rate, like just flat, and then it gets added onto that? Like you add onto the 100%, or?
Yeah, if you're talking about drop rate, then technically your base would be 100%, right? Some people will talk about bonus drop rate, and then obviously your base is 0. But that's also where some confusion came from with KMS, that some people were like, okay, you can get 300%, but was it an extra 300%? So can you go to 400? So that was a little bit confusing in the beginning. And, that's why I'm always so anal when it comes to like percentages and saying like 2 times more and 3 times as much and all of that stuff. Because it's important to know if you're talking about 3 times the normal rate or 2 times the normal rate. That's a huge difference. That's a 50% difference, right? Depending on which side you're looking at, it could be a 50% difference or it could be a 33.33% difference. Depending on the situation you're looking for, it always comes down to what is the baseline. But usually we take so when it comes to what I have here, this is like the bonus that I'm looking at. So like total, I think that's 200, 300, wait, did I do the math wrong here? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, plus 3. Yeah, I should put it here as well. You're right. Bonus drop rate. There you go. Or plus the plus percentage. Yeah. For continuity's sake and all that. There you go. Yeah, because so in KMS it's capped. Like the total amount of bonus drop rate you can get is 300%, and then it's done. So the total of 400 basically, but like plus 300%. Yep. But for GMS, there's only the limit of 200% coming from equips, and then other than that, everything seems to be completely uncapped, pending stacking of certain coupons and stuff. You can't like save every kind of drop coupon that exists and then throw those all on at the same time. Those will override each other. And then familiars interact with that in a certain way as well. But you can use both the Legion drop coupons and the familiars for like a huge amount, of course.
Yeah.
So that's what most people do. Like large amount of drop plus Legion drop. That's already 150%, and then you cap out your equips at 10 lines, and that's already plus 350%, and then you're just piling on more and more.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so that should clear up the drop rate, meso drop rate stuff, and what to go for on familiars, I think, right? But we'll get into that once we get into the actual equips and we get into what you're doing to see, you know, how heavy do we need to lean on IED? How can we just mainly go into boss? Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Oh right. Also, quickly before we move off familiars,
yeah.
I don't know where to get my last 2 badges to get the third slot. I understand that you get the.
Oh, you have 8, yeah.
Yeah. I think you get one from just going to Moonbridge, right? And
yeah, and then Labyrinth and Limina also have one.
Right. Okay.
And those are all 3 easy ones, in the sense that they don't have any bosses in them. It's just the monsters in the map, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
I should.
Wait, is Labyrinth also level capped?
Yeah. Lab is 250, and then Limina is 255. Yeah.
Okay. So probably once I hit 250, I'll get my last badge.
Yeah. Or you have to go out of your way and go a bit harder.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, trying to get the reinstrate one from the Demolishizer or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I tried and I was defeated.
Is it the Mariner badge? I think is it.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think, yeah. These are the ones with the bosses, right? Mariner badge, the Mush King badge. You have to do the storyline and do the Black Viking a bunch, and then the Sandy badge, and then you have to get the Dio, I think his name is. But other than that, yeah, I think you have most of these, right?
Yeah, I have all of the ones that are really easy to get, and then
Oppressor. Yeah, you have all of these, yeah. Yeah, and then it's basically just the level ones, yeah. So the ocean, yeah, you have, yeah, exactly. You've got them, yeah, you're getting them all in order, yeah. So like next level, you'll be able to pretty easily get the one for what is it, the Void badge, and then yeah, and then at 250 you'll just get the Labyrinth one. And if you really want to push, you could push any of the other ones, but I think by the time you're 250, that's when it gets really important. Once you start doing hard will, and then everyone's probably going to be 250 at that point. And you can get the Labyrinth badge, get the 10 slot, get the healing familiar in there. You'll probably get some large healing by then from training in Moonbridge, so that should all like coincide. Yeah, no need to really push anything super hard there to try to force it.
Alright. Good to know.
Yep. Okay, anything else for familiars?
I think that's basically it, but yeah.
Yeah, if anything comes up, you just let me know. No, familiars are completely off topic now. Can't possibly go back now. It's over.
Yep.
Subject closed. Yeah.
Wait, what were familiars again? Sorry.
Yeah. So there's these monsters you summon. Yeah, familiars. Oh yeah, your hyperstat. Oh well, I looked at the hyperstats, right? Just a bunch of 10s in there. That makes sense. What's your crit rate situation for? You have like a few skills with 100% on it, but that's not enough to be like, I'm just not gonna build crit, right?
Yeah.
Or you got like a lot of extra crit during Final Pact or something. Is there something like that?
Yeah, but I didn't put it. I put it in. I went mostly into Gungni's Descent, and then I kind of spread it out with Evil Eye and the reduction for a Final Pact.
What is it when it's maxed? Wait, why is there a 32? Oh, because Final Pact is a 4th job, yeah. Wait, so you get Final Pact to 41? 31?
I do? What?
Well, with decent combat versus, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
So you get 31% final damage, move speed, and that gives you 11 critical rate. Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, if it was like 40% or something, then we could start planning around it. But if it's 11, it's whatever. 15% crit damage. Oh, there's like a hyper that gives you more final damage or something when you're in it, right? Is that what's going on? Yeah, sorry, my Dark Knight knowledge is not 100.
Really, mine isn't the greatest either. I'm a main. No, Dark Knight's a pretty unga bunga class. You just.
Oh yeah, here final damage plus 30%. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you have that one. And then enemies to defeat to reduce cooldown. I guess you don't have that one. That seems a bit unnecessary. Oh, there's a bonus crit chance there. Yeah. Some people go for that for like solo bossing stuff. That's some pretty min-maxy memes though. You can really go. So which hypers do you have?
Funny you say that. I have the final pack reduced target.
You stayed very quiet when I said that before, and now you're like, shit. time to expose myself. Yeah. Wait, would you have 5? Okay, which ones do you have? You have the let's see. Which ones would you want? You want to get the Evil Eye Hex Reinforced probably, right?
Yep.
And then fuck all of that. And then the final pack damage. And
I do not have that.
You don't have the final pact 30% final damage during final pact?
No, I have.
Okay, I would get that one. That seems like a pretty good one.
I have the 3 for Gungnir's. I have the Hex Reinforce, and then I have the reduced target. So I'll probably switch the reduced target to the.
That seems like damage. A great, gaining 30% more final damage during final pact, which is like your whole shtick, seems like a good idea. Yeah.
Yep.
The Gungnir seems good. 20 IED is usually worth. That's pretty big. 10%.
I'm pretty sure I got this build off a guide. That darn guide lied to me.
They said,
but maybe I should have just read more.
The reduced target over the damage. Yeah, that seems weird. Like 30 final damage during final pact seems. Well, to defeat enemies to reduce cooldown. That's the. Hang on, let me reread the other one. That's the one that makes it so that you can. That's not the one that makes it use it faster. It's make sure that you don't die during it or something, right?
I think it just reduces the cooldown because whenever you
restores your HP and MP, makes you temporarily invincible. If you defeat 30 enemies while invincible, the cooldown will shorten by 300 seconds. If the enemy is a boss, hitting the boss counts as defeating enemies for this purpose. Yeah, I mean, I can't see a universe where you can't hit the boss 30 times while being completely immune to everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would never be necessary, I don't think. Because you're invincible for 41 seconds. You can keep stacking it? Wait, okay, so how much does it change the uptime then? You can keep reducing it by 300 seconds if you hit it enough. Okay. Okay, that makes it way more valuable than I initially thought. But you still want this one though, right? You still want the damage one. But that would mean that you would probably drop one of the Gungnir's Descent ones. Probably like the 10% boss damage, right? Because I think that one's the least important out of these 3. Because 20 IED is a decent stack and 20% damage is pretty good.
Yeah. Wait, isn't 20% damage just basically 10 boss anyway?
It's basically a 20 boss.
Yeah,
exactly.
20 boss, sorry.
Yeah. But, yeah. It's kind of weird, because you would expect the Gungnir's Descent, which is like a bossing skill, to have like... For the bossing brush to be better than the regular one. It's weird.
That is very strange. But...
Yeah, then I would say that the boss damage 10% on Gungnir's Descent is probably the least important. But I would then keep the... Yeah, the reduced target is better than I thought initially. If you can... Definitely if you can stack it multiple times. which should also be very possible because you're just standing still, max attack speed, nothing is moving you around. The only thing that's that can interfere. Well, you'll probably notice on Will, especially in phase 3, it's a bit annoying because you miss him a lot, right? You just won't deal damage because in a lot of his animations, he's like untargetable for a little bit, and a lot of your skills might actually not hit him. Sadly,
right.
It's very tricky for Kanas in the beginning to get like a good timer for binds because they'll miss him a lot. Because he'll look like he's there, but you just won't take damage.
Alright, it's time to change my...
you should see your like burst and your final pack damage, especially when you're soloing, go up quite a bit, because 30% final damage is pretty massive. And just the 10% boss damage, that's a small loss right now. It'll be a little bit more impactful when the reboot passive change hits, but I still think it's going to be one of the lower end, right? Because your damage bonus, boss damage together is at like 300 and what is it, 370%. So you're going,
Oh yeah, what about the reboot final damage change? I have no clue what that is. Could you explain it?
Yeah, sure. So the reboot passive right now, if you check your first job skill, it says you get 1% damage every 2 levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is calculated into what's called in your stat window damage bonus. A huge chunk of that, pretty much all of it, is just that reboot passive hitting. And if you were non-reboot, that number would be super low. So basically what's going to happen is all that percentage is going to go away, and then it's going to be replaced with final damage instead. The reason for that is that some classes rely in their kit way more heavily on damage bonus and boss damage to get their damage, but because it's an additive pile and because the numbers are getting so high these days, there's actually reduced efficiency on the classes that rely on damage, even though the reboot passive is supposed to just help everyone get a set amount of damage extra to be able to clear the content because we have lack of upgrading, right? So a more fair way of giving us more damage is final damage because it's multiplicative and it's a percentage increase for everyone equal. So it's just a better way of adding damage, which means that comparatively, classes that rely very heavily on damage bonus and boss damage will see their damage go up more than characters who don't rely on it very much, because the total pile of damage and boss damage put together when you're bossing is going to be smaller, which means the individual sources are going to be more impactful overall because of less diminishing returns.
I see.
Does that last part make sense?
Yeah.
So you're not insanely high on the numbers. Like if I'm bursting, for example, my damage bonus and boss damage on my arc is like around 1000%. So that means if I lose like 180 there, that's not a big chunk of what I have right now. But if I gain final damage, which I don't have much of right now, that's a huge damage increase for me. For you, it's probably still going to be an increase, but not as noticeable as for some other classes. Like, I think it's Shade and then Arc Second are going to have like the biggest impact because you just have so much % damage going on. I have one skill that during my burst rotation gives me 100% damage, for example. And then another one that gives me 60%. And that's,
Okay.
You'll get more though, of course. The set bonuses, the familiars with more boss damage. That'll definitely still go up. Like Legion growing, it's still gonna get bigger, but
yeah. All right. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yep, no problem. What were we on before that? Oh yeah, the hypers. Yeah, okay. So the hypers are figured out.
Yeah, some of the flames on my items aren't the greatest.
Yeah, let's do the, hang on. Do you have any questions for the V Matrix?
Oh, I think I'm pretty sorted for V Matrix. Dark Knight's V Matrix is pretty, like, simple.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of, like, what to use when, and,
yeah. Yeah, you got 3 boost nodes with everything combined on it, right?
Yeah, that's it. The one with the final damage is a temporary one, just to get everything to 60 at the moment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get all of my, because I basically only use Dark and Pale and Gungnir's Descent anyway while bossing. I don't really use Oh
yeah, we got 3 of the same right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I do have the other trio, which is the Nightshade Explosion.
Yeah.
The Rush and the Evil Eye Domination as well. So I've got them ready whenever I'm able to hit 60 without that third boost node. But,
right, yeah. Because I had that on my list of like, because for now, because before the rush changes and everything and the adding of the up jump and all that stuff, people usually go for 3 boost nodes, but have like 2 Dark Impales, 2 Gugnirs, 2 Nightshades, 2 Evil Eyes, and then 1 final attack. Because that was like the least important one out of all of them. But I guess, yeah, with the... And I did add a note, like with rush and the dash and all that stuff incoming, it might be easier to just go for 2 full sets and just include those 2, and then also get the final attack second one in there. It's a bit cleaner and a bit easier that way. So I guess you're going for that approach where you just have 4 boost nodes and then just boost everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So for now you have the placeholder, right? Because disproportionate. And the other skills are probably just one-shotting anyway, even without boosting.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they are just one-shotting anyway.
Okay, yeah, then this makes perfect sense. And then you're using the experience nodes on the True Reckon Reflection.
Yep.
And I guess you switch out the bind for your rope lift or something in some bosses.
Yeah, I switch out bind for rope lift. I switch out... I usually switch out Radiant Evil for weapon aura. And then I would switch out Holy Symbol for combat orders.
If you're switching out anything here, I would switch out Decent Advanced Blessing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those that, yeah, gives you buffs, but compared to all the other utility out of almost all the other skills, it's definitely lowest value. Decent Combat Orders is like something you... Decent Advanced Blessing will be something you throw in there when you're like level 265 or something. Because all the other ones are pretty much just better. Even like Blink at this point, with the extra ability to let you float and stuff, might save your life more. When you're doing Tenebris bosses, you want the Urda's Will in there to make sure that you don't get interrupted during things, you know, if you're not already immune to everything with your with your Final Pact. You'll get the Goddess Blessing in there for more burst. The Blitz Shield will help you in some situations to tank more damage. The Impenetrable Skin for damage for bursting and for not getting knocked around is very useful for Hard Will Phase 3, for example. If you're, again, if your Final Pact isn't on. And then Weapon Aura, once it's higher level, I would always have it in there for all bossing. For mobbing, in some situations, but that's more like a case-by-case thing. So I think all of those skills have more utility than Decent Advanced Blessing. So depending on which boss you're going, I would keep that as your flex spot at this point to move into other things. Maybe throw in the Urda Shower if you're mobbing or something in case instead of that one, if that's useful and if the AoE helps.
Yeah, I could definitely try that out.
Yeah, but all the other ones seems fine. I guess your Spear is probably... Would you say your Calamitous Cyclone is more of your damage? Like DPS it's more, but DPM, is it more damage than your Spear?
I'm not sure. I mostly just use Calamitous Cyclone when people burst.
Yeah.
I mean, when we bind, sorry.
Yeah.
So I just pop everything before, and then I pop Calamitous Cyclone.
Yeah. But I guess for the Spear, it's more important if you're standing right on top of the target when you're hitting it, right? Because of the extra hits on the activation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a bit more situational, because Cyclone is always during the bind, so you're hitting the whole thing. And that's like 10 seconds, so then you're throwing in... Well, I guess you pop like the... What is like the Radiant Evil Eye, then the Cyclone, and then you pop the Evil Eye again right after it, something like that.
Yeah.
Because it has a pretty short cooldown, right? It's like 8 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to say. Because of all of that, I think, if I remember correctly, that Dark Knight benefits a lot from cooldown reduction on the hat, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask like which avenue like I should go into for that. So like I'm not sure if I should just switch my Fafnir hat into a cooldown one, or if I should just go for Absol and make that a cooldown one.
Yeah, that'll come down how close you are to the arcane weapon, right? Because if you're very close to the arcane weapon, then you just want to stay CRA. Then, if you're close to the arcane weapon but not close to the other pieces, then you might want to do the Abso. If you are close to the arcane weapon but not close to the other ones, you might as well. Then you might go for the Sorry. Okay, let me start that over. If your current star force on the hat is like 17 or something, switching to an Abzo to get the set bonus is pretty much always going to be preferential because you're not losing much on the CRA hat. And then you can just cool down on the Abzo. And then once you have the whole set, you go back to then you upgrade the CRA hat at that point. If your CRA hat is already really high level, and you're kind of close to like switching the whole set over anyway, then I would always stick with CRA and not bother with any of the Abzo stuff, because then it'll be like a sidetrack. But it seems like you're kind of like in between, where you might be close to the weapon, but then not close to the whole set, and you're low star force on the CRA, right?
Yeah. My CRA is not the best when trying to star force.
Yeah.
It does not want to go to 17.
Well, that's, yeah. I can't do much about that. I wish I could wave a magic wand and make it go to 17, but this is not that kind of progression session, sadly. But yeah, you know when to do that. You know, wait for 5, 10, 15, set funds aside, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make sure that we have the V matrix sorted before we move on, so we can like stay on track. Is there anything else for V matrix that you had questions about? Any skills or boost nodes or whatever? Because
I'm pretty sure this is basically the extent of Dark Knight's V matrix. Like it's very simple.
I think so. I mean, it just comes down to leveling and just adding out the bottom like one at a time until you just have the whole nice grid filled. There's still some nice burst there, right? Weapon aura at a higher level gives some good final damage. Impenetrable skin is a little bit unfortunate because you want to use it during your burst and you want to get hit to take damage to get higher percentage damage, but you're probably going to be using it when you're invincible, so you're not going to get those extra stacks. So impenetrable skin comparatively is probably going to be lower value for you.
I see.
Especially if you keep you in Final Pact longer. So it's more going to be like when you're bursting with the Calamitous Cyclone that your Goddess's Blessing is going to be more impactful there. It's going to give you a whole lot of extra stat to get some big deeps out.
Wait.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we can go to the Matrix, if you have any questions there. Trying to crit damage.
Did you mean Legion?
Yeah, that's definitely what I meant. It's also a Matrix, okay. Legion Matrix. No, I can't save that one. The Legion grid and the Legion, yeah, that's what I meant. My bad.
I think I know where to go with in terms of progressing my Legion. And like what to go for. So like prioritizing crit rate and crit damage for mules and stuff, and like if I need boss damage or IED anywhere, I would just go into it.
So you're a class where the 8k Legion is actually very valuable. Most classes 6k is like fine. You'll fill 2 outside grids and then get really close on a third one, and you'll be able to fill 3, right? And for most people that'll be like critical damage, IED, and boss. And then you know you have like a little bit of bullshit left, and maybe you put something in critical rate and you're kind of done. And for something like the Archmages and for anyone who needs buff duration, basically 8k is very valuable because you can fill out that whole buff duration grid as well. And of course your Final Pact loves that, especially the 30% final damage hypersnap we just added. We'll love doing all of that extra damage. And it'll take some pressure off of your inner-ability as well, which is, you know, also not the easiest thing to roll. So that is one reason why you're not why you have to go to 8k, but why that would be highly valuable. But yeah, you said you think you know what you're doing. From everything you said, it does sound like you know what you're doing. What is your approach on? So that's like building the grid, and what's your approach on getting the levels to fill the grid with? I guess.
right now I'm taking it kind of slow and relaxed. I don't want to, burn myself out too much, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting pretty into like trying to raise my legion. So most of what I'm doing right now, the terror burn for the Lara pre-reg
Mm-hmm.
registration rewards. Yeah, I'm using that on my Evan to
Mm-hmm.
try and for runes.
Yep.
Because prior to me coming back again, was I was completely clueless on what to do. So I didn't know that Evan was a very key contributor to leveling and
Yep.
building up your legion. So I'm just trying to get back on track, and he's currently the character that I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of tackling like what types of or like my approach to leveling up the Legion, I think I'm just going to try and get like every character to 70 and then 140 and then eventually however far I plan to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I would say early on to get started is like would be like a mass approach. I just try to lock out the stats. Definitely if you have coupons and stuff, definitely focus those over anything else, right? And then don't do like 3 hours of Legion every day and then don't have any more energy for anything else. That's not good, of course. But the main thing is that you still have 23 characters that aren't even counting for your Legion, right? Even if those are just level 70 characters, which overall is pretty fast and pretty simple. 23 level 70 characters is like what 1400 Legion, 1600 Legion. That puts you at 4.3k.
Yeah, I'm closer to what's it called, 3k Legion now. So on that image, I'm 2690, and now I'm 2930 because of the Evan and getting my mechanic.
Right. Yeah, the mechanic with the Burnator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just trying to take it slow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a slow grind, but.
And do you switch your Legion and your links at all to the character? I guess your grid setup is pretty much the same. But do you switch your links over and?
For everything but mages, I use my first preset, which is the one that you see now.
Mm-hmm.
I should really change the strength to whatever stat they need to like dex or luck, but
yeah, it's a small
for
thing,
my mages.
Sure.
For my mages, I generally just have it in magic attack and in the top right quadrant. So going for crit rate and bonus XP for now, because I was getting my Kana, Beast Tamer, Lumi, and Evan up.
Yep.
At the time, so that was basically what I was doing.
Yeah, if you have that foundation and you have those level 3 links, then you're definitely setting yourself up well to be able to go to 8k eventually. Yeah, if that setup is ready, you'll find yourself like from 3k all the way up to like 7k is going to be pretty much a breeze. And then that last part is going to be harder because that's going to be like the classes that you like the least, and that you have to all get to 200 before you start getting those last levels. So then maybe another event or some bonking or something to kind of ease the pain will probably come in handy.
Yeah, they're giving away another set of growth potions, right? For the what's it called? Lara.
Yes, yeah, but that's part of the
Yeah, so I'll probably plan on using that on someone.
Yep. Get those like I think 8 levels, right? 8 level 200 to 210s, or 4 for the higher ones, and then 2 and then 1.
I'll probably try and get it on my Beast Tamer. Trying to just bonk her up to 210 to get the level 3 link, and then I never have to play her again.
Yeah, whatever works for your account. I mean, Beast Tamer level 3 is obviously very good base link.
Yeah.
Especially when bossing and stuff. Because you're using it right now in your setup, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Mm. Yeah, and then ideally... What is the ideal you want to do? You want to get like the... You want to get like... Final damage... Oh, wrong one. Final damage crit and... An attack speed? Is that what you want?
To be honest, I don't know.
Oh, they want attack here? Yeah. I guess if your uptime for your final pact is way longer, then you can start to rely on that crit more. Because your current crit is 100%. And is that... are you above 100% or...
I think I am above 100%. Wait, you can check it. Oh no, you can't. Like,
yeah, if you hover over it, it should say what your actual is. It'll still show 100, but...
it is. 119.
And is that with the Buckhead Kapoo thing as well?
Oh wait, that's with my sharp eyes. Whoops.
Because I think Buckhead gives up to 15 now, I think.
109%. I don't... what stage is Buckhead Kapoo?
Yeah, you got me with that one. I knew you were going to say that. I don't know, what stage are you on?
I'm level 14 right now.
Okay, yeah, I think that's... how do I stall this long enough so I can look up the answer? 14... Yeah, that's 15% crit rate from that.
Okay.
So you would be at 104 with Sharp Eyes without it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which means either divest two hyperstep points or move 4 pieces in the grid.
Yeah, but I think the grid would be a lot easier because I'm about to hit 3k.
Yeah, usually you have to move the pieces around anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess if the extra link skill... Do you have a marksman and a night lord in your...
No,
religion?
but they are... I am planning to make them soon.
Yeah. So that just to be easy 6%. If to be Samurai gets to 210, that's another 3. That's 9%. And you're 4 over. So that's a 13 diff. Yeah, that gets you pretty close to getting rid of the... to like keeping your current and then maybe adding 1 or 2% in the critical rate and then getting completely rid of the phantom, right? And switching that out with a damaging link instead. Because, yeah, I mean, overall, and you've probably noticed this, and dreaded this looking at the progression grid as well, like the Legion is probably the part where you can make the more big gains right now. And it's not just because of the Legion grid, but also because of the member bonus and of the link skills together, right? All three working hand in hand are pretty big buffs.
Yeah, Legion has been, I've been dreading Legion, but recently I've actually started to enjoy like raising new characters. So
yeah, I think it's mainly once you get past 3k, right? Like once you get past 3k, you get an extra 5 characters in there, and then you can start really hammering the critical damage and the critical rate. And every new character is basically starting with 100% crit rate and with a lot of critical damage. And your new characters are going to be so strong right off the bat.
Yeah.
That sounded very convincing. Yeah. So much gusto coming out of that sigh of, I guess I have to.
Yeah, but other than that, after I get to 100, I just daily Zacium on all of the characters.
Yup, easy levels. No funding needed, so like,
just easy clap.
Yeah, so many free levels, it's so easy. Especially once you're mass producing, if you really get up to like 40 characters, you could just do a bunch of Zakums. Yeah.
100% my last character would be Zacium carried Legion.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe the last 2 or something if you look at the numbers. Well, if you have a few over 200, then yeah, you don't have to go all to 200, right? You can go maybe go a little bit lower. You can have like 2 characters, maybe 3 that are not level 200. You just get to 141 and throw some bonks on whenever there's some event and just leave them at 160 something. Yeah, or you have some mega burns at 150. Yeah, you already have some 180s here as well. The Hayato's getting close up to the extra 2% critical damage. That's good value too, right? Because like critical damage takes up 4 spots. Takes up 2 spots for 1%. So if you're gaining a bigger grid for the Hayato and you're gaining 2% critical damage, you're essentially gaining 5 coverage in the grid, right?
Yeah, wait, where did we get the? Oh, it was from the Bebe box, right? Yeah.
All the coupons.
Yeah. No, the what's it called? The bongs from there. I used them on my Hayato.
Right.
Because I think it was like 170 before.
It was like three potions, right? 1 to 10.
Yeah, and then I just bonked him up. So I'll probably finish him and get him to 200.
Yeah, because he's too close to pass up on now.
Yeah. I kind of forced myself into making him 200 now.
Someone didn't get backup equips on the cane though before the temporary gear expired. That boy is cold. Yeah.
I went into my cane. I
saw everything expire.
Yep, I didn't realize. I realized everything was gone. So
yeah,
I just kept them like that.
So you just moved the NX to the Bowmaster and called it a day.
Yeah.
I guess you could redeem that on any character, right?
I redeemed it on my Dark Knight, and then I just transferred it over.
Oh yeah, cash up trans. Yeah.
But originally, I was going to second main a Bowmaster, but then after careful consideration and how weak he was, I stopped.
Yeah, and then noticing how I didn't want to do it, I realized I didn't. That's good. That's good reasoning. Yeah. Okay. Oh, we're already at an hour and a half, so we do want to get to the equips.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Not that I'm not having a great time, but just for the time constraint's sake. Okay, so I can see your backups. Yeah, so you've got all the coins saved. So why is the money so tight? Are you having trouble with totems, or do you not play all that much, or?
I'm a avid gambler in red cubes.
Right,
I pump all my money into red cubes.
Make 100 mil, spend 100 mil. I know the type.
Yeah. Although I really should be hoarding, because
at a certain point it just you notice as well. At a certain point, it just becomes bad to do that. The chances of getting something remotely good in return just become microscopic if you keep spending like that.
Yeah.
It's fun in the beginning because you hit the lottery every now and then, but yeah, those what's considered hitting the lottery gets more niche and niche as you go on, and as a result, way more rare. And then it becomes just hoarding, waiting for the events, and then mass spending during events. That's just the lay of the land at a certain point.
Yeah, I really should stop impulse. Yeah. Well, from this point on, I will stop impulse buying red cubes.
Yeah, what I do is, I hoard everything, but if I feel the itch, then I just buy some cubes and just like keep the monster at bay, kind of thing, Because I like to gamble every now and then as well, but you have to know for certain. You have to like realize to see, okay, this is how much my money is worth now, and this is how much money my money is worth when I spend it during an event. Your money just becomes worth way more because of the events. Yeah. So you're actually just overspending if you're spending it early. But yeah, it's fine to spend a little bit here and there, just to scratch the itch. That's fine, as long as you have like your eyes on the prize for the bigger picture. Like if I want to be able to do the Tenebris bosses and I want to go black mage, at a certain point you have to like slap yourself on the hand, be like, no, don't. bad Zetsu, don't do it, because you're keeping yourself further away from your goals by doing that.
I think once I eventually get into I'll make a Kana farmer as well. The Kana I have right now, I'll probably turn it into a Kana farmer because I do not think my rates are the greatest for me.
So how are you with totems? You have good totem coverage?
I sometimes do not use my totems.
So you mean they expire at the end of the month, or?
So the ones on the cash shop, I don't really buy. DMT and 51015 kind of demoralized me for a while, and I'm only kind of. Well, it's been like 2 weeks since I've kind of been like playing again and like playing fully again. So, toteming is not in my agenda right now.
Okay.
But I do plan to use totems though. In the near future.
At some point, yeah. Gotcha.
And by in the near future, I mean in like maybe like a week or something, a week or two.
But you're okay with like reward points and how to do all that and get enough totems if you want them?
Yeah. I think you have a command, right?
Yeah.
For reward points.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. I should just.
So if I'm ever struggling, I know where to go.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So your rates aren't great. So what is your? So you sent the. Did you send 2 extra screenshots? No, that was someone else.
Oh yeah, I did.
You
I
did.
sent the 2 rings that I forgot to.
Where did they go? Oh, here. Yeah. I have them here. Yeah. Reboot Awake with a lot of strength and Mezzo. Nice. So what's your drop rate set total looking like? Do you have like the 5 Mezzo and the 4 drop, or is that something you're still working on?
That is still something I'm working on.
Okay.
I'm missing the drop rate from. Oh wait.
Ear?
Yeah. I'm lacking a drop earring, a drop face, and a drop eye. Because
you had a lot of mezzo.
Yeah, my DMT wasn't the greatest, so I wasn't able to, go into my drop gear. So I had to draw short. So I just got all of my main gear up, and I had to stop at unique for all of the drop gear, unfortunately.
I see. Yeah,
so,
you went the other way.
Yeah. Most of the unique items, so like the Mechanator pendant and like the D-Situs earrings, was supposed to be for drop.
Yeah, but then
sometimes life doesn't go your way.
Nope, and then you just get drop instead. So gotta move that way. This stuff is looking pretty good. So you're using this pendant. So what were you missing? Eye, face, and earring?
Yeah, eye, face, and earring for drop. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But because you're using a drop rate familiar and a meso drop familiar, you're still getting bags from every monster though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And because you do have the drop rate, yeah.
And usually when I train, I drop a what's it called, Legion coupon as well for Miso.
Yeah. How's the Legion? Yeah, well, that's the other thing, right? That has a lot of value in Legion that kind of gets overlooked as well, is like the income for the coins. That's of course a huge benefit for growing your account.
Yeah.
Because now you're just trying to keep around the amount of coins you need for the next rank up, I guess, and then spending as much as possible besides that. To get those rates, yeah.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about the rank up cost. Oh god.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it's good to get a reminder every now and then. Because nothing's worse than, yes, I hit 3k, and then, oh, I have to wait a week to get enough coins to be able to afford it.
Oh, okay. It's 170. Okay.
Okay. You safe? Good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm safe.
Clean. Okay. Yeah, I would say that probably, like, getting the drop rate is probably still a good thing, right? More nodes, more droplets, more symbols. Less pressure on the needing to get the bags up, and then if you get the large drop rate, you can switch to that without losing drop rate for meso bags, that kind of stuff. So it is good to have those eventually. And looking at everything, that's probably the priority, right? Because even though we have no boom room, I don't think star forcing wise, because all of your stuff is pretty much at 17. The flames are all pretty good. The familiar all makes sense. Very nice potential on the gloves. And flames also good there. Have you calculated your functional IED? Because that's like where you might be a little bit high now, I think, right?
I don't think I have, actually.
Yeah, I guess it's like the flame on the top is probably something that maybe needs a little... How far are you from the weapon? Because you have like 60 droplets or something, right?
Yeah, I'm not that close.
Yeah, you're not close. So you have to get it dropped. Oh yeah, like 82. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and you only just started doing the bosses, so you need a bunch more clears anyway. So you're like,
Yep.
hopefully going to hard lucid soon, and then like YOLOing. Hoping.
I got offered a hard lucid carry, but I already ran, and I'm extremely saddened.
Yeah.
At the opportunity.
That 1 in a billion chance. You missed out. Of course you would get it. Fills get the weapons all the time. Whenever you get a fill in your party, they get a drop. That's just how it works.
I see.
Yeah, so if you get an opportunity, yeah, definitely try to go for it. IED, let's see. Because you're at 93 visual here, and then it doesn't really go up when you buff. Where's your ID come from? You don't have you have the level 1 Lumi, so there's gains to be made there. You don't have the Monster Parker, and you don't have the Explorer Mage Link, I don't think, yet, right?
No, I did. Oh, yeah, I don't have the Explorer Mage.
And do you have the full Superior set?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I expect you to be higher. If you have 30 in the secondary and 30 on your weapon, is this without the IED familiars or with?
I run for my familiars, I run boss damage and 15% IED.
That was in the screenshot, right?
I don't think so, actually. Okay, wait. I will quickly...
Yeah.
Check. Okay, so with my familiar on, I go to 94.2.
But that's again with the fucking bug cat thing, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And you're at level 14, so that's 8% now. Okay, so that's not too high. So you're at 94 visual. And where?
Oh, it must have been. It might have been bug cat, which increased my IED slightly, or something. I don't know.
Well, you have an extra 20% on your Gungnir's as well, which is a large portion of your damage, right?
Yeah.
And
that's basically all I'm using.
Does the other stuff have IED, like your
I think sacrifice also gives me IED as well.
Sacrifice.
I think it gives me like 30% IED permanently, or however long it's up.
Radiant Evil has 20% built in. Spear has 50% built in. Cyclone, I think, is 100%, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, 50% as well?
Yeah.
What about Darkness Aura? Think of some recovery stuff. Oh, wait, is that the new one that replaced the big shield thing? Oh, yeah, that was like the little cursed red shield thing around you, right?
Oh, yeah, it was, yeah.
You already forgot about it. It's like, oh yeah. It's like getting a completely new haircut. You like forget what your hair looked like 2 hours later. You're like, the first time you look at it, it's like, oh my god, it's so different. And it's like, I can't even remember what it looked like an hour later. I guess it's like when your skills change. I go into Descent. The boost node. Yeah. Oh, and the Radiant Evil gets boosted by the Evil Eye boost node as well, right? So it gets another 20% IED because of that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like visually you can probably go quite low because Gungnir's itself gets 20% boost node and another 20% from the hyper as well.
Oh, okay.
Right, because that hyper is not during what's it called? That's not during Final Pack. That's just always, right?
Yeah, it's always.
Yeah, so you can be on like the lower 90s visual probably.
So like around 90%?
Yeah, like 90, 91 would probably be fine.
Okay.
And then especially once you get the full Legion block of IED, then you can, well, then you go to the same number, but then, so I think you'll probably be fine at this point because of the IED with everything that you can reroll your secondary if you wanted to.
Yeah. I might try to.
Yeah, because the boss is nice, but at this point it's basically, if you get like attack on boss, it would be already be a big increase, for example, and that's a pretty low threshold to improve. So I would try that out of anything, because, and then until you have the Legion board filled and the extra ID there, then that means basically that for your weapon you can also freely pick no no ID whatsoever, and then without it going to detriment of your damage.
Okay.
Yeah, because the book cat is not that big. There's other sources coming in as well, right? The ones that, the other ones I mentioned, like the Lumi, the Link Skills, the 7-day Monster Parker, that's coming soon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very soon. Yep. But all of that ID will add up nicely and make it so that you can fill in the gaps. But I think, yeah, looking at everything, cubing wise, probably would be the secondary. Just like money spending wise, would be the secondary. That or working on your accessories to get the full drop and meso set complete. That's probably the only two things I would work on right now. I think star forcing wise, you can probably skip current event. I imagine you're still flaming like another Dominator on the side to get something that's... Oh no, wait, you already have one transposed. Look for that pat mark, I guess, to...
Yeah.
And you're keeping the black bean marks? Is that to... what is that for?
I think that's because pat mark is so elusive. That might be try and get a high Star Force on the pap and then transpose that in the far future, because that's probably when I'll get it, if I ever get it. So.
Wait, so you want to get a high black beam mark to transfer or to just use as is, so you don't have to get like a bunch of monocles, basically.
I think both. So one I would use to get a high Star Force, transfer to PAP, and then transpose.
Yeah, we want to transpose at 16, so you don't want to go too high on the black beam mark then. Because it's not like the higher the better to transpose. 16 is like the sweet spot because it ends up giving you the most stats when you Star Force the monocle afterwards, after transposing. If you go high, if you have transposed at 16, then you get the highest final stats when you're Star Forcing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because of how the stats are transferred and which stats get sticked onto the item and stuff, and because of how much bonus you get for the higher level items Star Forcing afterwards. People tried like all the numbers and found what the best position was, and 16 is the best spot to do it. So I think if you're keeping all the black beam marks, well, you can get 1 to 15 very easily, right? Like a 1+1 no boom. Like you only need 1 at that point. And then like a 5 to 15, you could just bump it to 16 and then maybe get it to 17. And then you can transfer it. If it's like epic, you can transfer it to a pep mark and then just reflame transpose, that kind of deal. Or you use it as your damaging one, so you don't have as much pressure on your dineros, because I'm gonna assume that you're not crazy about the Commercy dailies either.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, not a huge stretch there for that assumption, but like considering the whole picture. So and most people don't like it. So it's not that it's not that weird. Then the black beam mark could be the one where you're like, okay, because currently you just have well, you have like an aquatic and an eye patch, I think, right?
Yes. Oh, a tattoo. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you have aquatic tattoo, and then you have an eye patch and the mustache, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So currently the monocle.
Originally, the aquatic and the mustache were supposed to be used for drop.
Yeah, but they never went to legendary, so.
Yeah, and I never found a replacement for the aquatic, and the flame is pretty decent, so I was just like, well, I might as well just keep it. And then I realized that the tattoo would give me better, what's it called, a bigger boost than just using the mustache. So I'm using that over it.
Yeah, it's mainly once you get them to 17 that they're significantly better.
Yeah.
But you could, yeah.
Because the Sweetwater tattoo was always off my radar. Like the Sweetwater gear, besides the pendant, because of like
transposing.
transposing and getting like all these dominators. I was just like, oh, well, I'm just gonna prioritize that, and then all the other Sweetwaters, I'm just gonna neglect. So I never really got the Sweetwater tattoo to a high star force.
Yeah.
After realizing how much of an increase it could be now, I should probably get it up.
Yeah, the main thing is if you get to Superior, you start breaking up your boss accessory set, so then the set bonus starts chipping away at that. And then the fact that they can't Star Force very high and the Sweetwater stuff can, plus the higher tier, the higher level, all of that stuff, that makes them, and the fact that the set bonus is broken up, that makes them good replacements, and then the other ones can go for drop. If that all works out, then that would be the one thing to work on, like during the 1+1 and the no boom room, right? If you get access to that, to work on the tattoo and a monocle to get them to 15 at least during that.
Yeah,
that will save you a whole lot of money. And the narrows, of course. Not having to do either, not having to either do Commercy so you don't have to safeguard, or safeguard and spend a whole lot. That's going to be good timing for you for those two then.
Yeah.
So one thing you can do is they're at 15 is at that point work on their potential after that, and then see whatever they get in potential. If they end up getting drop rate, like let's say that the tattoo ends up getting really good drop rate, then you can just keep the mustache for damage, or maybe go for legendary and then go for damage on that one. And if it ends up getting like similar drop rate, then you just switch the function again. You kind of let the potential decide what it gets.
Oh, okay.
That kind of deal.
Yeah.
If the monocle gets damaged, then you don't really have to deal with the black beam marks. Then you just use the black beam marks to get like 1 to 17 to transfer hammer into the, or to 16, right? And then transfer hammer and then wait for another 5, 10, 15 and then just bump it up on the pap mark to 16. That'll probably be easier. But if the monocle ends up getting a really good drop or mezzo, then maybe go for the black beam mark and then use that one for damage instead. Because it also is part of the set bonus, so it keeps a little bit set bonus and better flame and can go past 15 stars. So that could be like the right intermediary. For other people, I would say probably just go monocle anyway. But if you're already a little bit behind and hesitant for Commercy and for backups and for later, etc., and you probably don't have the boat leveled up and everything, that's going to be like too far away and you already have all of these black beam marks, so that'll be like a better road to go for you, I think.
Okay.
And if we get the Wondroid Heart event soon, then you can get one of those.
Oh, is it coming back?
Hope so. We've had it 4 times now, I think, so it almost seems like there's somewhat of a pattern, which is a dangerous dangerous assumption to make for MapleStory stuff, but it almost seems like a yearly thing at this point. But that was Dark Lords of Darkness as well at some point, and
oh, right.
we all know how that went, so let's stay cautious, I guess. Yeah, otherwise, you've got the kind of treasuring is very nice. Yeah, otherwise.
Yeah, I was supposed to buy the fairy heart, but sometimes my mesos just disappear.
Yeah, that would be an example of like a bad impulse decision, because the fairy heart would have definitely been a way better like guaranteed. So let's put it this way: if you're spending like 2 bill to try to gain like 6% on something, or you could buy a heart for 2 bill that basically gives you immediate access to 21%. If you put those side to side, you would think that's a pretty easy decision to make. It seems that some heat of the moment, call it what you may.
Yeah, decision making.
Yeah. Oh, I guess the reinforced ring during the 1+1 and the no boom could be a good idea as well, right?
Yeah, I think I want to try and get that up because I'm still missing 2 slots for damage. For damage,
yeah. You have the kind of treasure and then the superior, right, for damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so reinforce, and then either making Meisters later, or making one Meister could be a good idea as well, right? Because you're basically going to get to 15 for free as well. Well, not for free, but like without having to spend all the money on safeguarding, that's going to save you a lot of money. That could be an option. But yeah, I would look at your funds at that point. If you're not going to have the money to get them up there, then it's not really that worth making it, because you have to go up to 12 for Meister, and then you have to, you know, keep it up or like lose it and then do it again later and then get all the materials and stuff. It can be a big hassle,
Yeah.
so...
I don't even think I can make one right now.
The Grand Spell Essences... I thought you had enough, don't you? Do you need 350? Is it that many Grand Spell Essences? Or...
I think I have like 3k of them. Wait, no, maybe that's just mana crystals.
Yeah, you have 300, and then... I always forget what the exact... oh yeah, you need 150 Grand Spell Essences. Yeah, you're fine. 800 Twisted times 150 Grand Spells. Yeah, you can make 2 at this point if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think it's just getting up to Meister is the big push.
Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. Yeah, as long as you have enough, if you save materials, if you have, what do you need? You need Dex Crystals, Emeralds, Intermediate Crystals, Advanced Crystals, Superior Crystals, a few Philosopher's Stones, which you have, and then you need, what is it, Garnets, Power Crystals, Dark Crystals, and Black Crystals. If you have like a decent amount of all of those, then you can do it just fine. You just need, you know, to start like 4 or 5 days ahead of time and keep it up for those 4 or 5 days. Don't forget.
Oh, time to start mining.
Yeah. That's like part of my all new members advice is always just start mining from the beginning, so that when you want to make something, you have the materials and you can just do it and not like have to start gathering the materials at the moment when you want it, because then nothing feels worse than trying to get the specific thing and then getting literally everything but that one thing. Yeah, it feels like the whole universe is like making sure that you can get forward. So, and it seems that the game is okay with giving you the materials when you don't actively need it. So,
I think a problem is when I try to collect materials, I only have like a 4-slot bag for minerals. So, yeah, it's basically my etc. inventory is very full.
Yeah. There's a lot of low-level plant stuff that you can basically all just get rid of.
Okay.
The low-level seeds and flowers is... Because the great thing about crafting and all that stuff is that if you use higher-level materials and you fail, you still get half the points. So you could just brute force your way through as long as you have enough of the high-level materials. You don't need to keep all of the different types of materials. So when it comes to the flower stuff, I think everything... All the seeds and all the flowers, all the way... And even the oils, all the way up to like level 5 stuff, I just indiscriminately just all throw away. That should clear quite some space up. And then with the winter update, we're also getting the extra shop, right? That allows you to buy all the bags from the shop.
I saw that.
So that'll be a lifesaver.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just
100% copying that.
Almost just doubling your inventory space for some characters. Yeah, and then it's gonna be smooth sailing. I think material bags, soul bags. Well, the smaller soul bags, but still soul bags if you don't have one yet.
Yeah, like a quarter of my used tab is just souls anyway.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Yep. Well, you have no soul bag at all?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I only got back into the game. So I started playing this Dark Knight in 2019, but I was like, yeah, like I said before, I was completely oblivious to like where I should go and stuff. Yeah. So then I stopped. Came back when I heard that there was the compensation. Yeah. Used Sherbet.
Sherbet triple EXP.
I was kind of stupid to use Sherbet so early when I didn't even know what I was doing.
Right.
I didn't even at the time I didn't even know it was a backpack. I just saw a cute cat and I was like, well, free pet, right?
Yeah, free pet. Yeah.
And then
and everyone talking about how important the decision was on where to take it, and you're like, oh yeah, totally.
Wait, you guys aren't using yours?
Why not? And they're like, oh, we're holding it because it's so valuable, a new area that's coming out, and wanted to loot there. You're like, oh, yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm totally waiting. Hey, whose pet is that?
retracts
Oh,
this.
not mine. Double click.
Quickly retract it.
Your pet has lost sight of you. It has returned home. Yeah, but hopefully the path is a bit clearer now with everything we went through.
Oh, it's way more clearer.
Good.
This was a very insightful session. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, and for the things where I guess the videos will help more, if you have follow-up questions on that, of course, you can always ask in the chat. I'm always here, so... Well, pretty much always here, so you can find me. Maybe overlap with Australia time is a little bit tricky, but... yeah, or yeah, if you can't find me live, you can always send me a message on Discord or something.
Yeah.
Try to keep my Discord clean, so... that involves replying to those messages, yeah. You were... You went from the YouTube comments, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, nice. And you've watched many of the sessions?
Yeah, basically everything that was like close to my level, which is a lot of the sessions anyway. Plus, like I like to watch the
270 people,
lower level ones as well.
Oh, the lower level.
Oh yeah, like 270 people as well, and like like close to 200 people. Yeah.
So basically all of them.
Yeah, basically all of them. Yeah, I watch a lot of them while just like working out and just like keeping in the background to have something.
Yeah,
like,
I heard a lot of people like if they're around 2 hours, people like popping a totem and then just listening to one in the background, and then you always pick up one or two things.
Yeah, you always do. You always do.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the more midterm and long term, one last thing that we didn't really talk about that much is the interoperability, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
They're still working on the whole thing, so there's still some tweaking on the numbers from what I saw from KMS coming on the way, especially with the winter event. But until you have... and that might be your new project, instead of like throwing a bunch of cubes at stuff. We'll be just buying like a stack of circulators and seeing if you can hit that 38% buff duration. Because if you can hit that, then that's like the green light to start just rolling again for the main line, and then to lock in and go. Because it can be one of those things where you can always just retreat back to the normal, so it's kind of like using black cubes, but not at the full price kind of thing, right? So there's low risk in that sense. But always, and like with all gambling, always set like a set of amount aside, like this is how much I'm willing to spend, and then spend up to that and no more, so that you you keep control over the gamba. Okay, don't let the gamba control you.
Yeah,
because it never ends.
For the upcoming 50%, do you think it's worth it for me to try and roll anything in my inability right now?
Well, with the things we talked about, so I think getting the drop mezzo stuff, keeping enough money to get those 3 items to 15 star, right, in the Naboom, and rolling your secondary are probably more important. So depending on if you really feel like you have enough money on the side, then you can set some aside to... But I would like roll circulators on the day of the 50% off, and if you hit the 38% buff skill duration, then, you know, roll. But if you don't hit it, then don't roll and just wait for the next one.
Okay.
Because, yeah, some people get lucky and hit it in like 20,000, and then some people roll 5 million and don't get it, and it's like, yeah, it's so all over the place.
Yeah, it's...
So give yourself a buffer.
Very, very RNG dependent.
Yep.
Like crazy, yeah.
My mom, because they used to have circulator sales, and my mom on her bishop had spent, between all the sales combined, I think she spent like 18 bill on circulators and never saw 38.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then someone else in the chat got it 38% on his reveal on legendary. So it's like, oh, well, it's somewhere in between there, but or maybe higher, I guess. The spread is just too, the standard deviation is all over the place. I just don't even know. I think there's theoretical numbers out there, but
yeah.
Good luck on.
You can never be certain.
No. So yeah, gotta make sure you have some kind of fallback.
Okay.
All right. You feel confident? You feel informed?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm very informed.
Good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Well, congrats again on winning, I guess, and getting your free session. You're a good poster child now to everyone to leave a comment if you on YouTube also want to win, because miracles do happen, dreams do come true, right?
Yes, they do. I was so shocked the moment I found out that I won. I was like, wow, I never get any notification bells. I wonder what this could be.
Yeah.
And then I see it's like, congrats, you won. And I was like, what?
I think you immediately messaged me on Discord like 5 minutes later or something. I was like, hey, it's me. I won. Yeah. Yeah, well,
I had to make sure.
You can never say you never win anything, because there you go. You won the progression session of a lifetime. Well, maybe there's more to come, but yeah, best of luck with everything. And yeah, you can always reach out and find me. You know where to find me if there's anything.
Yeah,
but I hope the boss runs.
In regards to future YouTube comments,
yeah.
You know, maybe I'll wait. Is it fine if I insert myself again in like the future?
Yeah, like right now, like on your own video. Are you talking about?
That would be so.
If you win again on your own video, then yeah, we'd have to like draw another winner. I think there must be some kind of period in between wins. I think.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about it like when I'm like maybe like 250, 255 or something.
Yeah, yeah. If you feel like it's necessary at that point, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, of course.
You know, maybe I'll just do like an actual paid one.
Yeah, if you think it's if you think that's worth your money and your time at that point, yeah, sure.
I can say it definitely.
Okay.
So,
well, that's good to hear. Thank you. That I should probably drive up the price a little bit then. All right.
Wait.
Nah, I usually go by demand. If I notice that there's like way too many people asking and I can't like do everyone, then I just usually at that point it's when I adjust the price a little bit, because that's like a more clear sign that like my time is apparently worth enough to do that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I've only had to. I think I only did that like once or maybe twice since the beginning. Last time I did it was like a little bit of an adjustment for people who wanted like private sessions. I do want to accommodate that, but like then I have to charge a little bit more because it's harder to plan. Plus, I get no, YouTube ad revenue, so that cuts into my gains a little bit as well. But everyone has been very accommodating with that so far, so nobody thinks it's like, oh my god. Some people are just like, well, these sessions are paid. It's like, well, yeah, take like 2 hours of my day to go like over everything. It's pretty, yeah. Some people just want everything for free, I guess. But yeah. There's plenty of people who see the value, including you now. So that's good to see. But yeah, reach out.
After watching so many.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the amount of information that goes through in one session. It's quite a bit. Okay, well, good luck with all the bosses. I hope the will gets better. Hope you get your clears, and then maybe pray for a weapon drop.
Thank you very much.
And
I really appreciated the time that you took out, for me, even though I didn't, do it.
Yeah, you're the promotion. You're the promotion poster child now. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll see. Yes, you're welcome, and I'll see you around.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Yep. All right. Another clean 2 hours. People at the end of the totem, thank you for listening all the way to the end. But yeah, so Setsu was one of the people who commented on the YouTube videos. Remember, if you would like to win one of these sessions for free as well, leave a comment that you would like to win on the YouTube video. And I draw 2 winners at the end of the month. Setsu was one of them. The other person, I think, I contacted them on YouTube, I know for sure. I don't know if we already did them or planned them. Kind of lost sight on that other one. I'll follow up on that one. But if I contact you that you won, okay, at that point, it's on you to reach out back to me and schedule it, okay? I'm not going to chase you down for a free session that you won, that I'll let you know that you won, all right? You better really want it, okay? But yeah, if there's anything in the video that we went over, like you saw, we used a lot of resources here. Most, if not all of these, can all be found through my Twitch channel using !commands or !help right here. You have the list of the collection of all of the commands that I have and all of the information that it gives. It's a list of almost 200 commands with a bunch of information to it. There's some direct links here as well. at the end, and some of them are better to use during the chat because it's like a wall of text that pops up. And of course, some of the links to YouTube videos, and you can check other sessions in the playlist of other people who have done these sessions. You can leave a comment and win a free one, or you can use channel points if you're subscribed on a Twitch channel, or you can also do the paid sessions. Information for all of that are in the description. If you have data for me of monster kills, battle analysis, stuff like that, you can hand me that information as well through a link in the description. I use that to populate the information grids that I have. So all of the input there is very welcome. And if you would like to join my guild, I'm on NA Reboot. If you want to join there, you can also, there's an application sheet for that as well in the description of the video. For anything else, find me live on Twitch. I stream every day, full time. And I'd love to have you. Other than that, I thank you for watching. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.